Yo, I shatter dreams like Jordan, assault and batter your team. Your squadron will be barred from rap like Adam and Eve from the garden. I'm carving my initials on your forehead, so every night before bed you see the BP shut off the forehead. Reverse that, I curse at the first whack. Nigga with the worst rap, cause he ain't worth jack. Hit him with 1,000.
Okay, this is a video for the Dunu EST112. It's next to the SE6 for a reason. I think it's the best set that Dunu's released up until this point. I think it's got a tuning that is very close to its quality and appeal as the SE6, but the SE6 is all BA. I compared the two right here on the spider graph. I think that the mids are both very good. It's difficult using stuff like Fleetwood Mac, which might have one lead singer, 3 backing, 2 lead, 2 backing, and so on, plus guitars and bass guitar, and that'll really, the bass can overwhelm the vocals can sound slightly scooped, they can sound a little too prominent because of the gain. Both of these sets actually play nice, and they play good with my library, so I can't pick one. I'd say the mids might seem like there might be a little bite on electric guitars that doesn't quite exist on SE6, but that depends on what I'm listening to if I prefer that. One's not better than the other. Treble stage and resolution are holding hands pretty much all the time. Treble that's got extension usually has the psychoacoustic illusion of stage, because these are earplugs in your ear, and thinking like you're in a giant room listening to a live concert is a manipulation of the frequency response, and it's very clever and it works. Stuff that has no peaks might sound a little more closed in. Stuff that's rolled off the same, stuff that's got extension going all the way out might sound like a bigger set. The resolution when stuff is not rolled in the sub bass and has extension, the treble sounds to me like high res because I can catch everything to a certain extent, as long as it's not ridiculous bass or you know, like the P2, just massive stuff way out past 12. So these things usually are going to be in a group. Tonality, because I like dynamic driver, I prefer that set. Value, if this is within $100 of each other, and I think they might be, I would take the set that I like best, which would be that EST112, so that one. And then bass is the easiest and should be a bigger gap because it's a dynamic driver and it's well tuned. And frequency graph is nice. If I were to push this up a little bit, I could fit it all in that 10 dB band, which is always a nice thing. I like that the peaks are reducing from the gain is the highest peak, and then it drops and then drops. This is a little bit of an anomaly for me, but where it's positioned doesn't seem to be having an issue, and cymbal strikes sound absolutely perfect, so I'm not seeing anything on the graph that's sticking out to me in a bad way. This is the set up close. It's the most beautiful Dunu also, by the way. Unboxing will be at the end of this video if you want to see what's inside, because you get a lot of goodies like usual, all the tips and stuff. 3.5 into the ADI. It's got 4.4 and 2.5. It's got a breather hole for the dynamic driver that seems to work good. There's no sense of driver flex or anything like that. It's premium. It's very, very well built. I like it a lot. And this is the music that I listen to, the music that I use, why I use it, and the moment in the song that's being used. And we'll go ahead and close that down. And I'll stop this and we'll get into bass. Okay, bass, Big Boy, Kill Jill, Black Sabbath, Sweetleaf, Fleetwood Mac, The Chain, Led Zeppelin, The Levee Breaks, Marvin Gaye, Sexual Healing, Massive Attack, Angel, Pink Floyd, One of These Days, Violent Femmes, Please Do Not Go. Listening for different things, you can go back to the video and look exactly what I'm looking for. The Triple Strike deck hit on this, the bass drop is very good. It does it nice. It does it better than when I compared the Lokahi, the SE6, and the RSV5. Those are all BAs. They do their best, but they're not quite the same as a very well-tuned dynamic driver. The very fast bass guitar play in Sweetleaf, along with drums, it comes in, it says 230 over there, but actually it's 236 to 310 that I'm focusing on. Played it back like a boss. There was no issue there. In the low frequency, where it would spill into the mids, which I'll talk about next, so I won't talk about that now. Low frequency is fine. I'm mostly listening to drops, hits, bass guitars, and drums in the low frequency, and sometimes some vocals to see if certain things are going on. And in the low frequency, everything was fine. They tuned that driver well. It's beryllium coated. It's moving at a good speed. It's not creating a haze over the mids. Everything is fine. The bass is good. We can move on. Okay, mid-frequency. Mid-frequency is an interesting event. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this, if I'm going to do treble or just cross this over. I'm looking for Neil Young, and he's right here. This is Neil Young Greatest Hits. I like this because guitar and vocals, the fundamental and the harmonic crossover point, it's, if I recall correctly, around 1.5 kilohertz. It's very close. I can tell also, especially with electric guitars, because the guitar solos or vocal overemphasis of vocals via the gain and after that is something that is, they both happen together usually. I never hear guitars are fine, vocals are messed up, or vocals are fine, guitars are messed up. They usually go at the same time. I was listening to the mids, and I was listening to Old Man. Oh man, take a look at my life. Oh no, I was listening to Needle and the Damage Done. Just so you can confirm. Neil Young, Needle and the Damage Done, vocal guitar, intro to 36, and the first verse. I'm listening to that. I seen the needle and the damage done, a little part of it in everyone and every junk. It's very nice, very good. It's a man and a guitar on a stool with a microphone. I'm going to show you that in a second. And it was going fine. And when I was looking for what my next track was, which is Led Zeppelin Fool in the Rain, the Purge Shuffle by Bonham, drum play, particularly 2-minute 24-second on, plus Jimmy Page's unique guitar distortion at 3-minute 51 to 4:53. While I'm looking at that and getting ready and kind of just thinking to myself about music, Old Man came in, and this happened. You watch this, you can read his lips. Oh man, take a look at my life. I'm a lot like you. You could just read that. That moment jumped out at me while I wasn't even paying attention. This video wasn't up. The Needle and the Damage Done was, because I was going to show it, because I was listening to it and I wanted to watch it while I listened. And I was maybe going to use it. I actually had Fleetwood Mac, The Chain live, because it was showing doon, 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 doon. And I wrote right here, bass line, resonance, decay, perfect. So I had that up because I was going to show that moment when he's doing it. And I had this up, but I had the Needle and the Damage Done. I closed both of them because I don't need them. This is what I need. Listening to a mid track brought me to a treble track, because this would be something that I would evaluate. This, you see him on that video, he's getting into it. His mouth is very close to that microphone. There's not a lot of other stuff going on. There's nothing actually to distract you. You're focusing on his vocals, and they are quite loud and they're quite emphasized. So the low frequency on this set is great. The mid sounded good, Fleetwood Mac Rumors, the vocalist, the guitar, everything sounded good. This sounded rough. Like, stop. Listen, what is going on? Take a look. Oh, that's the next track that I'm listening to, Old Man. It just kept rolling because I got it set like that, and I wasn't paying attention. It's a song I listen to sometimes, sometimes not. There's so much on this album that's awesome. It's a greatest hits album, and I love Neil Young, but his vocals can be a little intense. On other stuff, Grateful Dead, Ripple, Eagles, New Kid in Town, Rolling Stone, Wild Horses. Wild Horses was close. That gave me almost a little bit, like I was listening to the Argon, the Mod House Argon Mark IIs, and I loved that part. This sounded a little bit different. The treble on this is good if you listen to stuff with a lot of energy up. Let me finish the mids. The mids are good. They just brought me, because I listened to one track and let it roll to the next one, that it brought my focus to treble. So let me go to the treble. Mids are fine. Okay, treble in conclusion, which I just tipped my hat to because I couldn't help it. A mid-evaluation track brought me right to a treble moment. And this is it right there. You see him, he's getting into it, and he did the same thing when he was in the studio, because you can listen to it. And to be very specific, it's on the Old Man. So I'm listening to the Needle and the Damage Done, but I actually wrote Arrow, Old Man, Shouty, minute 32. And I checked the spectrogram just to see how much harmonic extension was going on. I could actually do that right here. It'll probably pull it right up. No. That's actually right hear that it starts. This, oh man, take a look at my life. That's the energy right there. I gotta isolate exactly what it is. If I use this, it'll steal the focus off of listening to the other things, so I won't actually do that in this video. But that is, I checked the timestamp. That is where it is. And that is where this set will have maybe a little issue if you listen to music like Neil Young, or if you listen to, this is Elton John, Funeral for a Friend, Love Lies Bleeding. Instrumental that goes into, it's like Foreplay, It's Been Such a Long Time by Boston, where it's a double track, but it's actually an instrumental that migrates into a song, like with lyrics. This is Elton John's version off of Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. And this guy right here is the keyboardist. And if you've ever heard Funeral for a Friend, you know that all it's like a church organ, but it's a synth keyboard doing that, and it's really substantial. And I put it up here. Elton John, Funeral for a Friend, start at 57 seconds if you listen to the Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and he's doing it right now, so you can only see him right here. He's doing this thing, and it's interesting because that's like a climax of this. And then Elton John comes in, he sits down, and he does that line like dun 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 dun. You can listen to it at your leisure if you want, but it's a calm after the chaotic storm. He's gonna mug for the camera right now real quick. There you go, good for you. So this thing was building up into insanity, and then he's gonna come in and cut in with this very simple, slow, peaceful. You know, Elton John can get banging on the keys. He's not doing that right now, but this will accelerate again and pick up speed, and it'll transition right into Love Lies Bleeding. That keyboard that was playing just before he started his piano play is like the Neil Young moment. That intense thing that I intentionally put in the treble evaluation is a moment where you'll notice something. I don't know if it's related to the driver and the knobs or not. Keep in mind, I think this is the best Dunu that's come out so far. And if I walked into a store and were picking stuff, and these were my options, the Dunu's most four recent, the Luna, the Zen, the SA6, and this, I would take the EST112. So I do wreck it, and I do think it's the best set. But if you listen to stuff with a lot of high energy, Vocaloid, J-pop, you be aware, or wait for other reviewers and ask them specifically if they're noticing any sharpness with vocals, harmonic extension of vocals, keyboards, and synthesizers. That would seem to be not the strong point of this set. So bass is good to go, mids is good to go, tip me off to something in the treble, focus on the treble, and I found it. It's not rough. Cymbal strikes sound excellent, which is unique, because usually when cymbal strikes are shimmering a little too much, a lot of other stuff happens. In this case, with this set, cymbal strikes sound great in every moment that I checked. And that keyboard, and also this actually synthesizer, and Neil Young's voice. Everybody who likes Neil knows he can be fatiguing. Grating would be a good word, but it's music and it's used to evaluate this gear. That's where that struggles just a little bit. I do wreck it though, because I think it's great. It is definitely Dunu's best work so far. So that is the EST112. I wreck it. Pay attention to other reviews, and if they say there's nothing wrong with it, everything's fine, mention the two songs I did and ask if they could give a peek to that and see what they think. I listen at 77 dB and ask them what they listen at. And then you can kind of collect all the info and decide if it's a purchase you want to make. If I had to choose between Dunu's goods, I'd pick that one. That would be my choice. That's it. God, he got big, didn't he? Elton John. And he's got a lot of money, so I don't feel sorry. But I hope he doesn't get a heart attack or something. And I'm out. Okay, this is the unboxing. This is the EST112 Beryllium. I believe it is a 14.2 millimeter, so it's rather large. It's got, I think, a single balance armature. And the ESTs are pretty much duals, I believe. So this would be like a 2 EST. Maybe that's what 112 is. 1 dynamic, 1 balanced armature, 2 EST. Live on camera, my brain snaps. Snaps. This is the box, typical Dunu. typical Dunu, recently. Open it up, get a nice little real or not rice paper. I don't know. It's what it kind of implies. Like a lot of Japanese gifts and sweets and stuff come with this on top of it. Let me put this on top of this little mini stack right here. The topping stack. That is a small little thing right there. These are gorgeous. Let me say right now that, like I said probably in the video that you already watched, Dunu's getting better and better. So you got the earphones on the top layer. They look quite nice. I should have taken that out. Hold on a second. Let's take a look at this first. On the inside of the case, you've got your tips. Don't know what the two types are. I'll probably not use those. I'm a person that uses the same tips. Sometimes left and right is different size. So I just switch them off of stuff. Got your quality control. There might be some surprise. I don't know where. Oh, you got a nice little cleaning cloth, which is cool. Does anybody fill that out? Comment below if you do. And then the quality control card. Then you've got the case. They might have used to put the cable inside here. Okay. Dunu tips. Spin fit tips. A few different types or sizes. Stereo jack. And a cleaning tool. And I guess for airplanes. I'm pretty sure what that's for. And then the case, which is pretty much the same as it comes with the Zen, I think, and the HE6se. If I recall correctly, I should bust them out. Let's take a look at this again. Cable is nice. It just has to do its job, which the HE6se didn't do. Has one job. Let's take a look at this. These look gorgeous. So this is MMCX. Here's what also it's got a 4.4. So this comes with nothing attached to it. And if you want, you can go with a 3.5, which I'm going to do to go out of the ADI 2 DAC. You can go with a 2.5 balanced, or you can go 4.4. So you don't need to do any cable rolling, regardless of what your source is, because they pretty much got you covered. The body is not really that thick. I would grab the UNBOX EST Mark II to compare it with, but a lot of people don't have that, so yeah, okay. It's not that large. It looks beautiful on the outside. It looks like it's got the vent right there. I don't know if this will focus. The GoPro, I can't see through the camera. MMCX gets frowned upon a lot, but I actually don't have a problem with it. I haven't had anything break because of that. So again, the cable is multi-termination capable. It's all included. You've got tips that come with the Dunu. You've got connectors, more tips, and stereo. You can comment below if you fill that out. I guess that's for warranty or something. And this is nice. I like to collect these because I like to keep stuff clean because I have OCD. So let me put that right there. That's cool. And that's it for the unboxing. I'm going to go ahead and do the review.